Happy Star Wars Day, and may the 4th be with you. That's right, this episode of the Next Level Showcast happened to fall on May the 4th, Star Wars Day. But don't forget, May 5th, Revenge of the 5th. Anyway, on this episode of the Next Level Showcast, Adam and I celebrated Star Wars Day, May the 4th, by playing a bunch of Star Wars sound effects as well as music and things like that. You know, just a little bit of fun. We talked about how walking can get your creative juices flowing, some shocking food facts, plus the science behind a diagonally cut sandwich. We recapped our interviews with Kevin Bigley from USA's Sirens, as well as Claire Coffey from NBC's Grimm. We discussed this week in entertainment, Next Level News, plus some odd stories, weird of the week. We made a huge contest announcement at the end you're going to want to check out. It's going to be worth your while. Make sure you listen to us live every Sunday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Don't forget, check us out, www.nextlevelradioonline.com, facebook.com/nextlevelradioonline. Follow us on Twitter at NXT Level Radio, and now you can subscribe to us on iTunes. Sit back and relax and enjoy this week's episode of the Next Level Showcast.
Get ready for the countdown. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
It is Sunday, May the 4th. It's fitting that we're doing a show today, too.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I'm excited, too. Star Wars Day. I always love today.
Yeah. And what about tomorrow? Revenge of the 5th.
Oh, what? I didn't even think about that.
Yeah,
I just know it is Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah, that kind of caught on a little bit of recent years. Revenge of the 5th.
That is awesome. I don't know.
Yeah.
I never picked up on that.
Yeah, neither did I. And then I saw a picture today or something like that, and I was like, oh, yeah.
I have to remember that. But I am Ben Beck, and with me, as always...
for the interview?
Sure, go for it. You are?
Long pause, and I'm Adam Gorey.
There you go. This is the Next Level Showcast right here on Next Level Radio, as again, it is Sunday, May 4th. May the 4th be with you. It just sounds like somebody with a lisp.
Yeah, right.
So, but I love it.
Be with you, like Daffy Duck.
Exactly. Thuffer and Thuckatash. May 4th. We got a packed show for you.
Revenge of the 5th.
I still got the Star Wars movie music in the background. I love it. But we have a packed show today. We're going to recap a couple interviews we did over the week. A couple big ones, actually, too, which we're really excited to do. We have a big, huge contest announcement that we're going to do today. So you're going to stick around to listen to that. We're going to go over some other stories and more, but...
And we're on iTunes.
And yeah, that's right. Oh, I was going to get into that a little bit later, but...
Oh, you might as well do it now and later.
That's true. Now and later. Yeah. It's a candy.
It is a candy.
There you go. We're always making connections on this show. As lame as they are. No, we are finally on iTunes. It took a while because I'm not... Even though I have a degree in computer science as well as some other self-taught stuff, I couldn't figure out an RSS feed to save my life. So, but special thanks to my buddy Paul Manoogian for helping me out with that. He was a huge help, and it worked. And now everything we have done so far is on iTunes. All you got to do is go to the iTunes store, search Next Level Radio. We are the first thing that pops up. Which is awesome. There's a link on our Facebook page. I'll put one up on our webpage as well. If you click the link, it'll take you right directly to us on iTunes. We encourage you to subscribe because you will get our podcast and interviews literally as soon as they are up, which will be the same night as the show and as the interview. We've been good about that lately.
Yeah, especially because it's just an MP3. I mean, with YouTube, it takes a little extra time because you got to convert it to video. But because it's just going on to an MP3 that you can download, it's so much quicker.
Yeah,
which helps us and you.
Yeah, the YouTube thing, like you said, it takes a while because I have to convert it to video, and then I have to upload it to iTunes, and then iTunes has to process it. So sometimes that can take me a couple days. But subscribe to us on iTunes, and our podcast is available to you the same night, which is pretty awesome.
Let everybody know that you know that we're on iTunes.
Yes, exactly.
So they know.
But like I said, we got a big contest announcement that we're going to do a little bit later on as well, so we encourage you to stick around and do that. What did you do today to celebrate Star Wars Day? Anything in particular, or just?
Unfortunately, no. I didn't have the time. We were moving some stuff and packing some stuff today, so I didn't get a chance. I really would have liked to watch the original trilogy, but I didn't get the chance to.
And that's what I did. That's how I celebrated. I was up at 9 o'clock this morning, made myself some cinnamon rolls and bacon, which was a pretty healthy breakfast. I'm down like 6 or 7.
Like it.
I'm down like 6 or 7 pounds, and I celebrate by making cinnamon rolls.
You gotta have a cheat day.
I probably shouldn't be doing that, but yeah, I woke up at 9 o'clock this morning, made breakfast, and while breakfast was cooking, first thing I did, popped in episode 4, A New Hope.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta go with the original 3. If you have time, you can watch all 6, but
Right, no,
I mean, you gotta go original 3.
No.
And do you have the theatrical released ones, or do you have the ones that were, they added all that stuff?
I have the Blu-ray release, which I think has both.
Yeah. I know nowadays it's hard to find the ones that have the original theatrical release.
Yeah, they're very hard to find. You can get them on VHS, but who has a VCR anymore?
Yeah, no, I mean, because I have the DVDs, not the Blu-ray, but I got them, a while ago, so they have both the theatrical and the new stuff added, which most of the new stuff added doesn't bother me.
No, it doesn't really bother me either.
Yeah, there's one big thing that they changed in the third or episode 6, I guess, Return of the Jedi. That really bothered me.
What was that?
When at the very end, when they used who's the guy who I forget? I always forget who played Anakin Skywalker in 2 and 3.
Hayden Christensen.
Christensen, yeah. When they added him in at the very end instead of having the guy who played Darth Vader originally.
Yeah, rather than add him at the end of Return of the Jedi, I probably would have rather them take him out of the first 3.
Yeah, exactly.
He was one of the worst parts about the new trilogy.
He needed to get less exposure, not more.
As Kevin Smith called him in Clerks 2, he was Mannequin Skywalker because his acting was horrible.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
I mean,
it's like Orlando Bloom up in there.
And even the kid that they got to play young Anakin was not that good. I mean, he ended up quitting acting after that.
Because he was so bad.
I don't think it was because of that. I think there was other reasons. But
yeah, he's still better than
Hayden Christensen.
Yeah.
Which really surprised me, too, because I've seen other stuff that Hayden Christensen has done. He's not a bad actor.
Right.
But he was just a horrible choice for Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah.
And the only reason I watched the original 3 was because I wanted to see Obi-Wan kick the shit out of Anakin.
Yeah.
I knew that was coming.
And the thing is, in the third one, anytime it's on or anytime I'm watching it, I'm literally just waiting for the end when he puts on the suit.
Yeah, pretty much. That's
and they play the Imperial March.
And then we don't have to see him anymore. So
exactly. But I'll watch for some Natalie Portman. And in the first one, Keira Knightley.
Yes, that's true. It's I don't know. I still don't like. I'm not crazy about the original 3. I'm hoping these new trilogy is going to be good.
We'll talk about that a little bit in Next Level Showcast because
Next Level News.
Or Next Level News, yeah. This is the Next Level
Showcast.
Because they released the cast today or this week.
Yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit later on in the show. But
real quick before we move on, when you watch all 6, what order do you watch them?
Well, okay. Here's the thing. Like, I know some people stick to tradition. They watch the first 3. They watch 4, 5, 6, then 1, 2, 3. I heard a very interesting way to watch, and it's usually how I watch it now.
Okay.
I will watch episode 4, episode 5, and then I will watch 1, 2, and 3, and then 6. Basically because, and here's the logic behind this, and it actually works, is episode 4 obviously is and apologies to anybody who has not seen Star Wars at this point. We're going to spoil a lot. Yeah. If you haven't seen it already, shame on you. But episode 4 is obviously the destruction of the Death Star. Episode 5 is the big reveal of Vader being the father of Luke Skywalker. And to anybody who I've put this out there before, not here, but to other people. Anybody who shows their kids Star Wars, I'm proud of you. It's great to introduce your kids to Star Wars. I'll do the same thing when I have them too. Do not start with 1, 2, and 3.
No. You definitely have to watch 4, 5, and 6
Because
first.
when you do 1, 2, and 3, you completely spoil
the big
Vader Luke Skywalker reveal.
Yeah, which was a huge thing, for anybody who's seeing it the first time. It's hard to think about because we've seen it so many times, but for anyone watching that the first time, that's such a huge twist.
Yeah. Like, I've seen video, there was a video on YouTube.
Kids' reactions?
Yeah, the kids' reactions to finding out that Darth Vader, and it was great.
There's a couple of them, yeah.
So the order that I watch them in is obviously 4 and 5, because then it's the reveal. And then after you do that, you switch to 1, 2, and 3, because it kind of plays out like a flashback.
Yeah, it gives you like a background. I can see that.
And then 6 is the wrap up to the entire story. So
yeah, that's an interesting way to do it.
So that's usually how I watch it. Today I didn't do that one because I didn't have enough time to watch all 6 of them. You kind of need a full weekend to do that.
Yeah, I know. I haven't watched all 6 like in the same weekend in a while, but I know when episode 3 was out in theaters, I did it both ways actually. I watched 1, 2, went to see 3, then watched 4, 5, and 6, and then like a week or so later I watched 4, 5, and 6, watched 1, 2, and then went to see 3 again.
Yeah.
Just because I could.
I mean, everybody has their own way of doing it, but if you're introducing somebody to Star Wars for the first time, please don't show them 1, 2, and 3 first. Show them, show them 4, 5, and 6 first if you're going to show them in trilogy style, just because you're just going to ruin the whole big surprise about that. Like, no. Exactly. I do find it interesting, though, that it's the same actor that plays the Emperor in both trilogies.
Does he play in the original ones?
Oh, yeah. It's the same guy.
Okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's the same actor that plays the Emperor Palpatine in all 6 movies.
Interesting.
So, and obviously we know he won't be back for the new trilogy.
Spoiler alert. Is he still alive?
The
I guess
actor?
he would be. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the actor. I'm pretty sure the actor's still alive. Look, if Harrison Ford and Carrie Fisher and Mark Hamill are all still alive, then I'm sure.
Yeah.
And
Harrison Ford's, he's what, 70s?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I think he's in his 70s.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And Andrea said you're doing the show with your Darth Vader helmet on.
I should. It's not far away from where I'm at right now.
I have a Vader helmet too, but I turned it into a Shredder helmet, so I can't use it.
Oh, yeah, it's true. So. You did.
But I mean, on the same note of Star Wars too, I found this article that I thought was pretty interesting. And it kind of surprised me. Actually, I'm moving it over. It's references to Star Wars in music. Okay. And some of the people on this list really surprised me because I didn't think. Obviously, there's a bunch on here that I've never heard of. Right. But I mean, going over the list real quick, it goes in alphabetical order. Some of them you can kind of see using them, but there are other people that I just never expected. Going down the list, Bare Naked Ladies. In 1 week, there's a lyric. Luke Skywalker got a big hunch. Hey, that's my lunch. Yoda's a really really old guy. I don't.
That's
remember
what
that.
they say in the song.
Yeah, that's the lyric.
It's so. I mean, I literally probably understand about 10 words from that entire song. So.
In 1 week, it's the refrain that you understand.
Yeah. And I got chicken to China, the Chinese chicken, whatever the hell that means.
Have a drumstick and your brain stops sticking. Come on, you can keep going.
X-Files, I know the X-Files reference.
Watching X-Files with no lights on?
Yeah.
Sorry. Beastie Boys use it in theirs. Justin Bieber in Never Say Never.
Really?
Yeah. That one...
I'm a little surprised by that.
That one I'm kind of ashamed. He should never touch Star Wars. Just the same way he should never touch a Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
Blink-182 has a song actually called A New Hope.
Okay. That might be a reference.
Yeah, yeah. Considering the song also makes references to the moons of Endor, the deserts of Tatooine, and Han Solo. One of the lines in the song, "You're exactly the kind of Alderanian that I need, drinking Colt 45s with Lando and the Cantina in Mos Eisley." If that's not a reference, I don't know.
Maybe they just like to go to some place called Mos Eisley.
Yeah. Bloodhound Gang has numerous songs. Blue County, which is a country artist, which I remember that song.
Now, are most of these references the originals?
Yeah,
I gotta imagine most people stay away from the...
Yeah, they're usually like Vader and the Force, which can be generalized to any of them.
Yeah, that's true.
Boys to Men is on this list.
Wow.
Yeah. In the song Vibin'.
Vibin'?
Yeah.
Not sure I know that.
They have a dope demonstrator, creator of the Force, like, hey, Darth Vader, you intimidator. So, who else? Cohane and Cambria. I'm just going down the list here. Deep Purple. Eminem, Missy Elliott, Everclear.
Who?
Gnarls Barkley, Good Charlotte, Gorillaz. I mean, there is a ton of people who have used.
Wow. Well, I mean, they are probably the biggest pop culture reference you could make, right?
One of them, yeah. Caspian, Kanye West, Madonna. Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
Like a virgin?
Yeah.
I think there's a lyric, like a virgin using my lightsaber for the very first time. Something like that.
Pretty sure you might be a little off on that, but...
I'll have to double check the lyrics, but I thought it was along those lines.
Method Man, Notorious B.I.G., Brad Paisley, Pepper.
Well, I know Family Guy is littered with Star Wars references.
Family Guy has done...
They even made the movies.
Yeah. something, Dark Side, It's a Trap, and...
Blue Harvest.
Blue Harvest, that was the first one, yeah.
Yeah.
Which I don't get the reference, Blue Harvest.
Oh, it's funny because I took a Star Wars quiz the other day. And I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was I don't know if it was like the working title of something, or it was involved in one of the episodes. I think it might have been Return of the Jedi.
The quiz was, or
no, Blue Harvest. The name Blue Harvest.
Oh, okay, yeah, because I that's the only reference I don't get. Like something Dark Side. Obviously, I get. It's a Trap. I get.
The working title of Return of the Jedi was Blue Harvest, to keep fans away.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah, so there's a ton of pop culture references to Star Wars and things like that. So, but what do you say we move on with business as usual and we hit the box office?
Sure.
All right. And what do you got for us in the box office?
No surprise here. Opening at number 1 this week, Star Wars: A New Hope. 92 million. Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man 2. That's what.
Thank you.
Number 1.
I was kind of hoping you were doing that on purpose, and then you kept going with it. I'm like, I wonder if he's confused.
92 million this week, so that's a very good opening. Didn't quite crack 100 mil, but came pretty close. Only holding, which is kind of surprising, a 55% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, I'm hearing mixed reviews on it.
Yeah.
My thing with those movies, though, is I go into them for fun. I don't try and judge them, you know.
Yeah, I mean, some of the other Marvel films had gotten lower ratings on Rotten Tomatoes, and I loved them. And the audience gives it a 75%, by the way, on Rotten Tomatoes.
They're popcorn movies.
Yeah,
they're junk food movies, as I call them. You don't go into them expecting them to win awards. You go into them just to have fun watching them.
Yeah, which is that's what they are.
So movies
it's not
like
going to be a 12 Years a Slave type of thing going into it.
Exactly. You're not expecting Oscar buzz for a movie like that. So I go into them.
Walk out of there crying.
So I just go into them expecting just to have fun watching them. I don't overanalyze them. They're superhero movies. That's
exactly. And neither of us have seen it yet. Do you think they kill off Gwen Stacy in this?
I don't know, man. I'm kind of hoping they don't.
I think they're not going to, because in the trailer they made it kind of look like they were going to. And usually when they do that, they kind of switch it up on you. I think they'll kill her maybe at the beginning of the third one.
Yeah, I don't know.
They could always pull a curveball and not kill her off at all. She could just go away somewhere. I don't think they'll do that. But.
That's true. I mean, because in the story, in the comic book, she dies.
She dies, right.
She dies before he even meets Mary Jane. And I know they were originally supposed to introduce Mary Jane in this one.
Her out.
They actually filmed scenes with Mary Jane, but yeah.
Shaina Woodley.
Yeah, they actually ended up cutting her out.
And I don't think, I know they had liked her as Mary Jane, but I don't think she's going to be Mary Jane in, moving forward because of the Divergent series.
Yeah.
They were saying it caught on, so she's going to be busy with that, so they're going to have to find somebody else. But, yeah, I mean, was it you that was telling me Gwen Stacy's even wearing the same outfit in a scene in this movie that she dies in the comics?
Yeah. Which really... Well, because in the original Spider-Man trilogy, there's actually a scene that happens that's straight out of the comic books, and it's the scene where Gwen Stacy is supposed to die. But it was Mary Jane in place of Gwen Stacy for one, and Mary Jane didn't die.
Right.
Which she should have, because I hated Kirsten Dunst as Mary Jane.
Yeah.
If any, and that's what surprised me about the casting of these movies, too, is Emma Stone as Gwen Stacy. I would have swore Emma Stone would have been Mary Jane.
Yeah. And maybe that's why they're I think that's why they'll wait to kill her off until the third one, but I could be wrong.
And then they'll bring her back and recast her as Mary Jane.
Yeah. Wow, you look really familiar.
You look like one of my exes.
Yeah. Never say that to a woman. Anyway, dropping back a spot to number 2 this week, The Other Woman, bringing another $14.2 million to bring its total over 2 weeks, $47.3 million, of course. Staying at number 3, Heaven is for Real. 8.7 mil with a 3-week total of 65.6. Captain America drops from number 2 to number 4. I mean, I'm not surprised because there's another comic book movie out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so exactly.
It brought in another 7.7. The total over 5 weeks, 237 million. It's not like it really needs
another week at the number 1.
Yeah, I mean, but like, if you're going to the movie for a romantic comedy thing, you're going to go see The Other Woman. If you're going for, a drama, I guess you would see Heaven is Real. If you're going for a comic book film, you're going to see Amazing Spider-Man because it just came out.
I don't know about you, but I'd be going to Amazing Spider-Man for any one of those 3. I'm sure there's drama in Spider-Man 2. I'd only date a girl who would want to see Spider-Man 2, so that would be the romantic, no, that's not true either. But
well,
she better at least want to see it.
How do you feel about what they did with Rhino? Going back to Spider-Man 2 real quick.
I don't know. Because I haven't seen the movie, so I don't know. I know he's mechanical.
He's mechanical. Paul Giamatti, I think, is like the pilot.
Well, but that's the thing, though. In the comic books, he wasn't. He wasn't a human Rhino hybrid. He was in a suit that he got stuck in.
That's true, I guess.
So it's kind of the same thing, except it's a mechanical suit.
Very different.
Yeah,
yeah.
Except it's a mechanical suit instead.
Yeah, it's not. And you know what? This series is a lot less comic booky than the first 3. So maybe say the Rhino was in one of the first 3, the original 3 with Tobey Maguire, it probably would not look like this. No. It would probably be more cartoonish.
No. And I know they're setting up, and this is the thing that worries me about the sequel and even the third one, is in the original trilogy of Spider-Man, the Spider-Man trilogy failed. It fell victim to the too many villains.
Yeah, and that's what I agree. That's what scares me about this one.
And because they're setting it up, but what this one is setting it up for, I think will work. Because they're setting it up for the Sinister Six, which is probably one of my favorite series in the Spider-Man comic books. But it also kind of gives you a big spoiler that Electro was going to survive. Because he's part of the Sinister Six. And I think they're doing the new Sinister Six, which also included Rhino. And Rhino and Goblin. So
I know in one of the trailers you can see the wings for
Vulture,
and
Doc Ock's arms.
Arms, yeah.
They're setting it up, and I think they're setting it up even for the third one is going to be a Sinister Six introduction to the point where the Sinister Six are going to get their own spin-off.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which would be interesting because you've never heard of a villain getting a spin-off,
let
alone a series of villains.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
So, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see where they go.
Yeah, let me finish out the top 5 real quick.
Yeah.
Rio 2 dropped back a spot, bringing another 7.6 for a 4-week total of 106.4 million. So pretty good over 4 weeks for them. For Rio, it's kids movie. The first one did really well, so I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
Now coming out this week, Neighbors, the comedy with Seth Rogen, Rose Byrne, Zac Efron.
Looks good.
Comes out Friday, May 9th. It does look good. I want to see it. Some of the way they make Seth Rogen's body fly all over the place looks a little odd, but I'll buy into it. You know, if you've seen the trailer, you know that, you know, with the airbag in the seats and he like flies up and hits the roof.
Yeah.
Or the ceiling, I guess. The roof's on the
Oh,
outside.
you can completely tell that scene is CGI, but it's
Yeah,
still
exactly.
funny.
And there's another one where I think he gets hit by like a giant ball.
Yeah,
and he goes flying, and you can tell it's CGI too. But you know what? It's a comedy. I don't really care.
Yeah, exactly.
Also coming out, Chef with Robert Downey Jr., Scarlett Johansson, Jon Favreau. Also directed by Jon Favreau. Dustin Hoffman's in it. It's another comedy. It looks pretty good.
Getting good reviews, so
Yeah.
that's one I'm going to be interested in seeing as well.
A chef who loses his restaurant job starts up a food truck in an effort to reclaim his creative promise while piecing back together his estranged family. So,
Yeah. I'll probably end up
Another-
waiting for DVD, but I'll see it.
yeah, another comedy. So 3 comedies this week. Mom's Night Out with Sarah Drew, Sean Astin, Trace Atkins. I haven't heard anything about this.
Me neither.
And then an animation film coming out, Legends of Oz, Dorothy's Return. So I'm sure a lot of parents will take their kids to see that. Leah Michele does the voice of Dorothy. Kelsey Grammer does a voice. Dan Aykroyd does a voice. James Belushi.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I've never even
Yeah,
heard, I haven't even
I
heard
don't
of that.
think. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be one of those. I think it's gonna be all kids. Like, it's not gonna be one of those animated ones that there's a lot of stuff for adults. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be very kid oriented. And then finally, drama. I'm not sure if this is Philip Seymour Hoffman's last full film. God's Pocket. I don't think he did anything with.
I think that is his last full film. I know he filmed scenes for the next Hunger Games.
Did he?
Yeah.
Did he actually get some scenes?
He
in?
did
Okay.
get some scenes in, so that was the last film he worked on. Because I think he died when they were on break from filming.
I think so. Yeah.
But yeah, I think this new one coming out, I think is his last full
Okay. I
film.
gotcha.
They take
And
a
that
while.
does
They
it.
take a while to produce and everything. It's the same thing with Brick Mansions being the last movie that Paul Walker did after.
Right.
Was that even still in the top 10? I can't remember if you mentioned that or not.
The top 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was. It was not in the top 5 though.
Okay. I couldn't remember if you had mentioned it or not.
Yeah, it was number 6.
But Andrea had asked in the chat room too, are there going to be 3 Spider-Man movies again? Yes, if not more,
Yeah,
because there's plenty of spin-offs that they're planning off
spin-offs
too.
and all that. Yeah,
I think a Venom movie is in the works,
that's what I hear.
which
would be
awesome. That's
He
where they
needs his own
failed
movie.
with the original
Yeah.
trilogy.
I was just gonna say that. That's where they screwed up. They gave him about like an hour.
Yeah, Venom should have been his own movie. He's
Yeah.
too huge of a character to be put in with Sandman and the returning Green Goblin.
And a Venom movie would be so cool because it's gonna do like a background into it.
Yeah. And that's the thing, like Venom in the comic books is good and bad. Like he falls right in the middle.
Right.
He goes wherever he feels it's better for him. Sometimes he helps Spider-Man, sometimes he's against him. And Topher Grace was a horrible choice
Yeah.
for Venom. Venom was not a skinny little pipsqueak
No.
like Topher Grace. Like he was huge. You know, The Rock would have been a better choice for Vin Diesel. And to anybody who's listening that might have anything to do with casting, please don't put The Rock in as Venom.
I wonder
only
if they'll ever do a Carnage.
That would be amazing.
I think that would be really cool.
Carnage
Yeah.
would be awesome.
For those if you're unfamiliar, basically Venom but red
And evil.
and evil.
Like pure evil.
100% evil.
Yeah. Like no redeeming qualities about him. He just is a killing machine.
Yes.
But moving on to my end of things, as far as DVD, Blu-ray releases for this week, not a lot. There's only one that's even worth mentioning. That's the Veronica Mars movie with Kristen Bell. Made about $3.2 million in the box office, which isn't bad considering it was very limited release and it was a Kickstarter project.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
So it more than made back what they had raised to make the movie. So it made a little bit of movie, made a little bit of money. 77%, little bit of movie. 77% on Rotten Tomatoes as far as the Rotten Tomatoes rating, and like a 93% for the viewer rating.
Wow.
So yeah,
That's good news.
I'm a Kristen Bell fan. I'm not a Veronica Mars fan. I never watched the show,
Right.
so I'll check it out. It'll be a rent for me just to at least see Kristen Bell because I love Kristen Bell.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, it'll be a rent for me at least. I don't know if it'll be a buy, obviously, just mainly because of the fact that I never watched the show. So I really,
Yeah. I'll give it a rent as well.
But from what I understand, you don't need to have watched the show in order to get it. It's kind of like a standalone.
Well, yeah, because I think it takes place years later as well.
It does, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's probably very little reference to the show.
Yeah. But, I mean, just going to show you, like, the way I am, like, Veronica Mars, when I first heard about the show, I thought Alien. And it's not. Like, I don't think it has anything to do with space or Alien.
Yeah,
or
I think she's just like a detective.
She's a detective. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So
how the hell did you get aliens?
I heard Mars.
Mars.
Yeah. So I thought Martian. Like, is she a Martian? I don't know. But you're also talking at the same time shows like Roswell and Smallville and everything else were out. So, I mean,
X-Files.
These had alien ties to them. So why the hell not? Why wouldn't there be another?
Is X-Files still out then?
No.
They're still pumping out some stuff, I think.
Probably. It ran for like 10 years.
Yeah, and a couple movies.
Yeah. 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 And I think there's another movie that they're planning to bring the cast back, which would be kind of cool.
That would be cool. I like the X-Files. I mean, the show was out when I was a little younger, so I didn't quite watch the show a lot, but as I got older, I did, and I know I saw at least one of the movies.
Yeah, I didn't watch it.
I like stuff like that.
I didn't watch it religiously, but I've seen episodes here and there and things like that. Eventually, I'd like to go back and watch the entire series. It's not anything.
Yeah, it's on Netflix.
Yeah, it's not anything I have time to do right now.
No, yeah, I mean, there's 9 seasons.
Yeah, I mean, I still gotta get caught up on House of Cards. I gotta get caught up on a bunch of other shows like Sirens.
Yeah, dude, you do have to watch House of Cards. Holy hell, do you have to watch House of Cards?
I know. Is it 2 seasons or 3?
2. I just finished season 2 Friday night. I watched the finale and I almost cried.
Yeah, I know. I saw your posting on Facebook. I'm like, spoilers! I haven't watched it yet.
I mean, you don't know what character I was talking about.
It doesn't matter. I now know a character's going to die.
Yeah, but you don't know who.
It doesn't matter. I know it's not Kevin Spacey.
No.
So, yeah, I know it's not Kevin Spacey.
It's such a good show. Yeah.
Or Robin Wright Penn, so I know it's not either one of them.
Maybe.
Oh, damn it. I hate you. Don't do that.
It's not her.
All right. Let's ooh, that was loud. Let's take a break, and when we come back, we will
recaps.
Yeah, we'll recap one of the 2 interviews that we did. We will go over a couple other things. We will do our next level news and things like that. I mentioned on Facebook that I had the new one from Lindsey Sterling featuring Lizzie Hale from Hailstorm. So we're going to play that. But again, we're going to take a quick break, and we will be back in just a few minutes. Hang tight.
Hey, this is comedian Craig Shoemaker, the Love Master, baby, and you're listening to Next Level Radio. I took it to the next level. Oh, yeah.
Let me see your identification.
You don't need to see his identification.
We don't need to see his identification.
These aren't the droids you're looking for.
These aren't the droids we're looking for.
He can go about his business.
You can go about your business.
Move along.
Move along. Move along.
A little Star Wars clip there. Celebration of Star Wars Day. Today, May 4th.
Daffy Duck saying, "May the Force be with you."
May the 4th be with you.
Yes.
It's funny that you bring up Daffy Duck. I know we were... I was going to bring this up in Next Level News, but I'm just going to say it now just so we can get it out of the way. Daffy Duck in one of my favorite movies, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and unfortunately, Bob Hoskins died. Eddie Valiant. So we were going to talk about it in Next Level News, but it was going to be really quick, so I figured just get it out of the way now.
Get out of the way now,
yeah. Which is sad, because he was in actually 2 of my favorite movies, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and he was Smee in Hook.
Yes.
So,
which I know is one of your favorites.
Oh, I love that movie.
Yeah. Which was on, it's on Netflix now, too.
Hook? Oh, yeah, I think it's been on there for a while. Who Framed Roger Rabbit, I think, is on Netflix, too.
Oh, I haven't seen that movie in a really long time.
I love that movie. It. And the scene at the end where he's making the weasels laugh by doing all that stuff and singing the song is just awesome. It was sad. I was kind of bummed to hear that he died.
Yeah.
71 and from pneumonia, which is,
Yeah, that'll happen when you're older.
Yeah, you know. So that kind of sucks. You had an article that you had come across that you wanted to go over.
Yeah, these are. I actually found this a little while ago, and our shows have been so packed with good topics. I had to keep pushing it back.
So what are you saying? This one's just a horrible topic?
We have terrible topics this week, so this one made the cut. No, no, but I'm tired of holding off. So
no, it's fine.
So these are 17, and this is off of BuzzFeed. 17 shocking food facts that will make you question everything. BuzzFeed puts out a good amount of articles like this, which are pretty solid. They also put out a good amount of articles that I don't care about.
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
You got to weed through the crap, but and let me just say, those quizzes they have that they put out are getting out of control.
Because now they're for everything.
Yeah, I stopped taking them when the quiz was, which disciple are you?
Oh, I would have never taken that one anyway.
Yeah, I didn't take it either. But I did take one that it actually was like a week or two ago. Which color lightsaber would you use, or would you have?
Oh, that would have been an interesting one to take.
Yeah, I got green.
Oh, I gotta find that one. I gotta see if I can figure that one out.
I don't remember if it was BuzzFeed or not. I think it was, but anyway. Okay, so 17 shocking food facts, essentially. One is that all Fruit Loops taste the same no matter what color they are.
I knew this one.
Yeah, I think that goes for M&Ms too, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, because they're just chocolate and the candy
That's
shell.
So disappointing.
So
I love Fruit Loops.
Which cracks me up about the M&Ms thing too, because you know those people that make riders that I just want like a pound of brown M&Ms. They're just doing it to be a dick.
Yeah, no, brown M&Ms have the least artificial coloring in them.
Okay. I have nothing.
This one's a little bit of a visual, but inside a cup o' noodles, it looks like it's filled almost to the top, but what you can't see is that there's about 2 inches of empty space at the bottom of the cup.
Yeah.
So really, there's 2 inches of empty space, 2 inches of noodles, and then 2 inches of empty space at the top.
Yeah.
Which I guess they have to leave room for water.
Yeah. By the way, I meant to mention this at the top of the break too, but if you're in the Mixler room, feel free to chat along with us if you're listening to us on Mixler. If you can't chat with us, just register with Mixler. It's free to do. If you have a Facebook page, you can sign in with using your Facebook page, and then you can chat away with us during the conversation.
Or you can tweet us.
Or you can tweet us, or you can post on the Facebook page. We're pretty much monitoring all three while we do the show.
Yes. So at NXT Level Radio and Facebook.com/Next Level Radio online.
Sorry.
But yeah, I mean, I haven't had a couple of noodles in a long time, but I know when I was obviously in like college and stuff, I would eat it all the time.
Oh, they're favorites of us at work. They sell them at work.
The sodium is so high.
Yeah. I can't even argue with you on that. It's I mean, it got to the point where when I bought ramen noodles for my house, just because I was not working or anything, and I needed broke food, I would buy the sodium-free bouillon and just throw away the packets that came with the ramen noodles.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because then you get the same flavor, but with a hell of a lot less sodium.
Right. Number 3 on this list, Twinkies don't last forever. And it's a picture of a moldy Twinkie. So they only last about 45 days.
Do you know how I know this one?
Because you had it happen to you?
No. Zombieland.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Woody Harrelson's character says, out there's a box. He's like, believe it or not, Twinkies do have a shelf life.
This one I love. Well, I don't love this fact, but I like that someone actually did the math. So-called double stuffed Oreos only contain about 1.86 times the stuff.
Somebody had too much time on their hands.
Yeah, and there's like a little math equation here, which is kind of funny. Captain Crunch is not, in fact, a captain.
I knew this.
On his sleeves, you can see the 3 stripes. Well, the 3 stripes stand for commander. Captain is 4 stripes.
Yeah. So he lied.
You would think they would have done their research. And his eyebrows are on his hat.
You think he would have got arrested by now for impersonating an officer.
Exactly. He's a commander.
Captain Crunch is a criminal.
Yeah, this one I know because I know there's a big stink about it in the news because someone actually took a picture of their Subway footlong was actually only 11 inches. And I knew it made its way around the internet.
Look, if you're going to complain about an extra inch of bread, you should not be eating at Subway.
Yeah, I mean, it's $5.
Exactly.
$5.11/12 of a foot long. I mean, I think it's like the picture is the rolls are kind of like they look like they're a little moist, maybe from whatever olive oil or whatever this person put on it. But they look like they shrunk up a little bit, so it could have been 12 at one point.
Yeah.
I don't know. Double dipping does not spread any more germs than single dipping does.
I knew this one too. I actually knew this one from Mythbusters.
Really?
They've actually tested this one, yeah. So,
interesting. I'd like to watch that episode because I'm not sure how that's possible.
Yeah,
Don't you get mouth germs?
No, not really.
Interesting.
So to anybody,
I'll still yell at people for doing it.
I don't. I try not to do
It
it.
depends who.
Yeah, I try not to do it, but sometimes it just can't be helped because you have a big enough chip and you need more. So.
Yeah, some of those Tostito chips are huge.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Those things are seriously like the size of my hand. Next one, grape nuts don't involve anything related to grapes or nuts. So you want to hear the ingredients on these?
Sure.
Whole grain wheat flour, malted barley flour, isolated soy protein, salt, whole grain barley flour, malt extract, and dried yeast. So they just felt like making it up.
Alrighty.
This one is cool because I remember the cereal. Do you remember the cereal Oreos?
Yes.
The supposedly discontinued cereal does still exist.
Just not in America.
Fortunately, it's only in South Korea.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Yeah. And it's funny because the box is in Korean and can't tell what they are. But you still know they're Oreos.
What's Korean for O?
It looks like an O with a line under it.
All right.
Yeah. Not too far off.
No.
Peanuts are actually legumes.
Legumes. I knew this one.
Legumes?
Yes.
Not nuts. They grow underground in little, batches, which is interesting. I did not know that.
That one I actually knew.
Wonder why they're called peanuts then.
I don't know. Somebody couldn't think of something original. Pea
Okay.
legumes didn't sound right.
Yeah, I guess. German chocolate cake doesn't have anything to do with Germany. It's just called that because some dude named Sam German, who invented baking chocolate.
German.
Yeah, it was probably not said like German. It was probably German or something like that. The serving size for nacho cheese Doritos is just 11 chips.
That's ridiculous.
11 chips. How are you going to eat just 11 chips?
I don't know. It's the same thing like with Girl Scout cookies. How Girl Scout cookie serving sizes are like 2 cookies.
Yeah.
Like
Nobody
that's
eats
ridiculous. I eat an entire sleeve of Thin Mints.
Yeah, and I think I've referenced this before on the show, but the Brian Regan stand-up about Fig Newtons.
I think you have.
Who eats one Fig Newton?
Yeah.
This one I knew, but I refuse to believe. Carrots don't actually make your eyesight better.
Yeah, I didn't know that one, and I'm refusing to believe that too because I love carrots.
Yeah, so do I, and I have good eyesight.
So do I.
Yeah, see? So here on Next Level Showcast, we don't buy into that.
No, we refuse to believe that carrots do not make your eyesight better.
Yeah.
We fully endorse that carrots help improve your eyesight. So keep eating carrots.
Eat your carrots.
This show brought to you by carrots.
Buy carrots. Girl Scout cookies are actually made by 2 different bakeries.
I did know this one.
I think I did too.
It's one of the reasons why Samoans are known as Samoans in some part of the country, but they're known as Coconut Delights in others.
Caramel Delights.
Caramel Delights, sorry.
Yeah, but yeah, correct. Oranges aren't necessarily orange. I think I knew this too.
I think it depends on the ripeness of the orange.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Let me see. Oranges in warmer tropical climates never get cold enough to break down the chlorophyll in the fruit's skin, which means they'll be yellow or green when they're ripe. So I guess it doesn't have to do with ripeness.
Oh.
Americans can't deal with this, so imported oranges get treated with ripening ethylene gas to turn them orange. That's kind of disturbing.
That's stupid. Just eat the damn orange.
Yeah, just give me the right color. I don't need... Why do you people think I need, like, it to be orange just because it's called an orange?
As long as it has, like, that... I mean, look, if we can eat Fruit Loops that are different colors but are the same flavor, we can eat a damn orange that's a different color.
I don't mind eating a green.
This rant brought to you by Next Level News.
Yeah.
Or Next Level Radio.
And carrots.
And carrots.
The 5-second rule is baloney, apparently. 5 seconds is plenty of time for those germies to get all up in there.
I live by the split-second rule, that if it touches the ground, it goes in the garbage.
Yeah, I live by the it depends what floor it just fell on rule. At home, I don't, because most of the time there's at least some particles of dog hair on our floor.
I was
so
just
don't
going to
even
say
mess
the same
around with
thing.
that.
In my apartment, I have cats, so if it hits the ground, it is done.
Yeah, if it falls on my shirt, I'll eat it.
That's not floor, though.
Like a fat kid. Last one, 17, number 17. Baby carrots are just adult carrots that have been shaved down to nubbins. And
Which I
love
think
that
is
word.
a waste.
Yeah.
Like, it's so much carrot gone to waste.
Yeah, I don't know why they don't just cut them a few times. I don't need it to be like a perfect shape.
Yeah, I
Every
don't care.
time.
It's a carrot.
But I do love the word nubbins, so, I mean, there's always that.
Well, like when we filmed our movie a couple years ago, we had one cast member who would come in with carrots. And just sat in between scenes, he just sat and bit into carrots. And eventually we just all started doing the same thing. We just all carried carrots and we bit into carrots.
Was this guy's name Bugs Bunny?
No.
Okay.
No. I wish I had a rim shot.
Oh, like I do?
Yeah.
That's a shame.
It's taking you too long.
Yeah, I'm not doing it. That's why.
Jerk. I do have access to one. There you go. I do have access to one, but you would know when I'm getting ready to do it.
Yeah.
Just because of the program.
So that's it. So those are some food facts that make you question pretty much your entire life.
It doesn't make me question my entire life, but
Dude, I don't trust anybody now.
well, now that I know that Fruit Loops are the same flavor.
Yeah, it's bullshit. That's what it is.
Bullshit.
Oh, I should have played that for Veronica Mars. That's Kristen Bell.
That's Christian Bell. Kristen
Bell.
Yeah. Kristen Bell.
Kristen's brother.
Kristen Bell. It's Kristen Shepard now, which I'm really disappointed about.
Did she take his last name?
No, she didn't take his last name.
Okay.
Well, I'm sure legally she might have, but she still uses Kristen Bell
Stage
for
name
for
wise, yeah.
stage name. So, which kind of
alright, well,
sucks. So.
Yeah. And you know what's funny? This is actually an interesting segue because for some reason, when I think of Claire Coffee, I think of Christian Bell at the same time. I don't know if
Christian Bell?
Kristen Bell. Now you got me doing it. Kristen Bell. Like, I don't know if they just kind of look alike. They don't look that much alike. I don't know if it's the hair or
They're
what.
both blonde. They're both beautiful.
Yeah.
And they're both nerds, as I found out.
True. So, yeah. I mean,
Claire
it's funny
Coffee.
because I was like, Claire Coffee, Kristen Bell. I could see that.
Sorry, I was sipping a Slurpee.
Oh.
I'm still here. I bought a Slurpee earlier, and I'm down to the bottom. So
We lost Ben.
no, I just had to sip my Slurpee. That's all.
But speaking of Claire Coffee, anyway, she was fantastic to talk to.
She was
spoke to her on
great.
Monday.
She was very, very friendly. She was the first person that said like thank you for the warm welcome.
Yeah.
Which I mean, I'm not saying that we're complaining about other interviews
Those bastards.
because every other interview we have done so far has been fantastic.
Yeah.
We've been extremely lucky in the interviews that we have gotten.
Yeah, and since last week, we've had 2 other interviews this week, which is awesome. I mean, we're averaging, since we really started these, we're averaging about 1 a week.
Yeah, and I will fully say right now, I will fully admit that I was wrong.
About what?
I was the one that told you when we first started with Next Level that don't be surprised if it takes a year before we start booking guests. We booked our first guest in February, and we have been on an uphill climb with that ever since.
Yeah, and we have at least another one this week.
At least one more
looks
this
like.
week, possibly another for later on in the week, if not beginning of next.
Yeah.
We have 2 or 3 others lined up that we just have to schedule times.
Yeah, a couple more that we were told to, check back in a little bit, and we should have somebody that we're just waiting to hear back on.
It's funny because every time I think we're going to hit a lull, you come back and you're like, we can get this person, and we can get this person, and we can get this person.
I'll tell you what, I'll sometimes go a couple days without hearing from anybody, and then all of a sudden someone gets back to me like, hey, this person's available this week. Like, usually it's not like, hey, next week they can come on. Like, usually they're available a few days later. So, I mean, that's why sometimes we don't even have time to announce them on the show because, we find out, or I find out, or you find out Monday or Tuesday that we're doing the interview on Thursday or Friday or something like that.
Yeah.
which is fine by me. I mean,
Which speaks volumes about us too, because in that like 2 days that we'll find out, we'll have time to. Although you're the one that does the majority of the prep, I will admit that, just because you handle more of that aspect, I handle more of the technical aspect, and it works out. I mean, we both have our jobs, but we do pretty well in the turnaround. Like we only have a limited amount of time to prep for an interview and get the interview done, and we make it happen. We get it done.
yeah, and some of these people help too, because I mean, they just make it so easy to talk to them. I mean, and we'll talk about our Kevin Bigley interview a little later, but we actually had to, axe out a question because he was so engaging, and you know what I mean. Like he very easy to talk to, and so is Claire. I mean, not to take anything away from that, but we luckily were able to fit in all the questions.
Yeah, we had to scratch. Yeah, you're right. We had to scratch a question from the Kevin Bigley interview because we ran out of time.
Yeah,
which
I mean, because
was
we
awesome.
were basically just having a conversation. So
yeah. But going back to Claire Coffey, Claire was awesome. What I loved about this interview was that after the interview was over, I got to nerd out with her a little bit on the phone.
Right.
Which was
I
pretty
mean,
cool.
After the interview was done, we were talking about a couple other shows with her for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, we were on the phone talking to her about like Once Upon a Time and Doctor Who and Sherlock, and finding out she's like a huge nerd, kind of the same way. Like I know at least I am, and stuff. She watches a bunch of the same shows that I do. It's just too bad she's married. Because I would have a shot.
Because I'm sure that would matter.
Yeah, because I would have a shot. But I mean, she is beautiful.
I'm
She's
sure
very
when she hung
talented.
up, I'm sure when she hung up, she went, "Damn it! If only I was single."
Yeah, I know. Anyway, but you have a clip from the interview.
2 clips actually.
Oh, that's right.
The first one I'm going to play for you is we had asked her the question about, because CGI, in recent years, has become very prevalent in a lot of TV shows. I mean, we were talking about the X-Files earlier. That was back in '93. They probably didn't have quite the same type of filming production as they do now, where a lot of times, you have to pretend like something's going on and then they add it in later. So we had asked her, about some of the challenges, doing that in today's production.
Yeah, it's a good question, because I think, for us, like the voguing is the main thing, and it's pretty fun and funny on set, because we're all just kind of like growling at each other, me and Sasha especially. But I think it's the same level of imagination it takes for, you get on a set, and I'm at Nick and Juliet's house, and it's a set, and there's camera guys right in front of my face. So it's no bigger leap than believing that the camera guys aren't there and that this is an actual house. It's kind of just the same sort of muscle being used.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm sure eventually they get used to it, especially people who kind of started or, got their start in this type of modern era with CGI and everything. They're probably kind of used to it by now.
Yeah, and it was funny that she had mentioned Sasha, too, because I love Sasha Mitchell's character in that show. I would love to get him on eventually, too, because he's done a ton of other stuff, and, that might be a possibility later on down the road. But I was actually going to bring him up to when you had mentioned to her about the special effects, because he has a huge one, because he's pretty much like a werewolf in the show.
Right.
So he transforms a lot due to special effects. But it was kind of cool hearing about that too.
Yeah, and excuse me. So the second clip I have is about. I'm trying to remember now.
You don't remember what the clip was that you had me grab?
No, I don't remember what we asked her. Oh well, let's play it.
Just play the clip.
Yeah, when I went to Northwestern, I started in the.
Okay, so this is about her. We had asked, because she runs her own website. So we had asked her, or you had asked her, I should say, if writing was something, because she writes it and she uses it as a blog. So we had asked her if writing was something that she had ever considered.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I went to Northwestern, I started in the journalism program. I'd done theater since I was 5, and I thought, I'll do something more practical. But obviously, journalism is no more practical than acting. So I transferred back into the theater program by the end of my freshman year because I just missed it too much. But I did I did like writing in that way. I think I'm a far better editor of other people's writing than I am a writer. But I liked working for the paper. But yeah, I don't know what else I would do.
Yeah, I mean, it's really cool, I think, that she runs her own website as a blog. And, you know, she enjoys writing, even though she said she likes editing better.
When she gets the chance to update it.
Yeah, now she should have a little more time, because production's pretty much over.
Well, not only that, but she had mentioned, too, in the beginning of the interview, she was having knee surgery. So she's probably going to be off her feet for a little while, so she'll probably have time to do
she'll definitely have some time.
updating for that.
Yeah, I mean, but, you know, she had said, you know, she thinks that she's better at editing other people's stuff than, which can be true. I mean, if some people are writers, some people can look at other people's stuff and as weird as it is to say, point out their mistakes rather than not make the mistakes themselves.
Yeah, exactly. Well, sometimes you're your own worst critic, and you can't, make that
right. And we on this show do not claim at all to be anywhere near perfect, so we're going to forget what clips we use sometimes.
But you know what, though?
Like, if you're looking for perfect radio, you know.
You know what, though, Lo? I love that about our show. Like, we don't, when we edit the podcasts and everything, we don't edit out mistakes. Like, when we make mistakes, they stay in there.
That's like part of the fun.
Exactly. Like, the only editing I do to the podcast is I take out the music breaks because, you know, it just makes it easier to flow through when people are listening via podcast.
And sometimes copyright.
Yeah, exactly. It's better to fight on copyright stuff. Sometimes we'll leave stuff in. Like, I know when we interviewed Chris Allen back in the beginning, I had played a Chris Allen song during the music break, and I left that in during the podcast. But I went through all the appropriate channels to make sure we could play it on the YouTube and everything. But I love that about our show. Like, I think the mistakes and the imperfections are a character of the show, and I keep it in. It's more fun that way.
It really is.
So,
except for maybe in the interview.
Well, that we took. There was one mistake in the Kevin Bigley interview that we did take out.
We'll talk about that a little later because there's a little bit of a reason why.
Yeah.
It wasn't just because I'm an idiot, which I will admit that I am, but that's not the reason.
No, but you can check out the full interview with Claire Coffey, which we encourage you to do on our webpage, www.nextlevelradioonline.com. Just click on the interviews tab, and you'll see it right there. Also on iTunes, just go to the iTunes store, search Next Level Radio. We're the first thing that pops up, and you can find the Claire Coffey interview, as well as all the interviews we've done and all the shows we've done right there listed in the iTunes store. Become a subscriber. And you'll be able to get access. Literally, the moment we upload everything to the iTunes store and to the RSS feed, you will see it show up in your iTunes library if you subscribe to us. So we encourage you to do that. Also, we encourage you to follow Claire Coffey, obviously, on Twitter at Claire Coffey, and check out our website, www.clairecoffey.com.
Yep. But I guess we should move on to Next Level News.
Yeah, let's move on to Next Level News.
I almost forgot that we even had it.
This is Next Level News.
Little Star Wars Next Level News.
I love all the Star Wars stuff we're throwing into the show today, too.
Yeah, I love that, like, chorus.
Well, it's Duel of the Fates, which I love. I know it's from I know it's from episode 1, which I really didn't like, but it's such a great song.
Yeah, and I love this part where it, like, slowly kind of builds back up.
Yeah. The soundtracks to the movies, while the movies were not that good, the soundtracks were fantastic.
Yeah,
John Williams is. And I'm so excited that John Williams is coming back to do the score.
Should be my ringtone. But I guess we should get into the news. I'll start off. Girl Meets World. I know we had talked a couple different times about characters and stuff like that. Finally has a premiere date.
Yeah, I know a lot of people have been waiting for this.
Yeah, for quite a while. And it's actually pretty soon. Disney Channel announced that Corey and Topanga and their daughter, I guess, will make their debut June 27th at 9:45 p.m. Eastern Time, which is kind of late for... But you know what? I think they're anticipating a lot of adults watching this because we grew up watching Boy Meets World.
Yeah.
So I think they're anticipating a lot of people our age watching this premiere rather than like younger kids watching it.
Yeah. Yeah,
but it's taken more than a year to figure out the premiere.
Andrea just posted. You guys see this one yet? The Cantina Band auditions. Adam and I were just talking about that. We'll post that. Yeah, we'll post that video on. We'll post that link on the Facebook page and on the web page.
Yep.
So, but moving on with Next Level News. Kind of bummed about this. Craig Ferguson to leave the Late Late Show in December.
Yeah, I mean that sucks to hear, and it's not even to like go do, the Tonight Show or the Late Show or anything like that. I think he had said, what did he say? He wanted to get out while he still enjoyed the show.
Yeah. Ferguson broke the news to a studio audience at the 5 p.m. Taping on Monday's edition of the Late Late Show. CBS and I are not getting divorced. We are consciously uncoupling, but we will still spend holidays together and share custody of the fake horse and robot skeleton, both of whom we love very much.
What would be awesome if he went on tour.
I've seen him on tour. He does stand up, and he came to State Theater in Easton last year.
I would love to see
and
that.
I saw him. He is one of my top 3 bucket list comedians to see, and I got to see him. I got to see Robin Williams, and funny enough, I got to see the third one last night when I went to go see Eddie Izzard at Forest Theater. So my bucket list is now complete, especially considering I got the chance to meet Eddie on Tuesday or Wednesday of this week.
Yeah, I would love if he comes. Even Eddie comes back into town because he was just in town this week. But if Craig Ferguson comes to town,
we'll get him.
I would love to have him on.
We will get him, even if it's a phone interview. We will.
Yeah,
because he is, like I said, he is in my bucket list of top 3 comedians, and he is.
Yeah, he's hilarious, and that show is so good too.
The show, it was one of my favorite late night shows, and I'm really bummed because his interviews.
When Craig Kilborn was on it, he was good too.
I think Ferguson was so much better.
Oh yeah, but before, obviously, hindsight's 20/20. But before Ferguson had come on, it was still a good show. So I'm confident they'll find another good. It's not going to be as good as Craig Ferguson, but
no, his interview style was so comfortable.
Oh yeah,
it was just so lackadaisical, and he just it was like he was having a conversation.
Yeah.
They printed out the question cards for him every show, but the first thing he did at the beginning of every interview was tore him up and threw him behind him. Yeah. It was kind of like a tradition, and I loved it.
So moving on, Gerard Butler's Olympus Has Fallen is going to have a sequel set for October 2nd of 2015. So I have not seen the first one yet. It's going to be London Has Fallen is what it's going to be called.
I haven't seen the first one either, so I'll be interested. I need to. It's on my Netflix queue. I just need to watch it.
Yeah, same. I've heard good things, so definitely want to check it out. You said you watched White House Down, which I loved
White House Down.
Yeah, I always get them mixed up.
Thought it was great. Project Greenlight returns to HBO for a new season with Ben Affleck and Matt Damon executive producing. I'm excited about this too, just because I loved the original series, and now that since the series ended the last time, I've gotten into writing and filmmaking. So this is something I'm actually going to attempt to go out for. Project Greenlight, the documentary series chronicling the search for a first-time director and exploring the filmmaking process, will return to HBO for a new season. Executive producers of the new season include Ben Affleck and Matt Damon, who were executive producers of the previous 2 seasons on HBO. So, I'm excited about this. I'm probably going to submit I'm going to work on some writing and submit some of my, I'm going to get back into my writing and try and finish something up to submit to Project Greenlight. So
that'd be cool.
Yeah.
You can keep going because the only other one I have is that.
And on the note of the Star Wars things that we've been doing for this show, Star Wars Episode 7 has announced its new cast. A lot of people have been waiting for this.
Yeah, and I don't think I've really heard of any of them except for the original characters.
Well, the original 3, Harrison Ford, Mark Hamill, and Carrie Fisher are coming back. That's been rumored for a long time, and it's been confirmed now. But you're right. A lot of these other people that have been chosen for Episode 7 have... they're relatively unknowns. They've all done some smaller stuff. But you know what? I like that.
Be in these, who's going to be in these that was in... that. They were both in all 6 of the
Chewbacca and 3PO.
Are
back as well.
I think it's R2-D2 and 3PO, isn't it?
Is it R2-D2? It is. Hang on, I will tell you.
I know Kenny Baker's
Anthony Daniels, who was 3PO,
Yeah.
Peter Mayhew, who was and
Mayhew
Kenny
is-
Baker. They're all three of them are coming
all
back.
three of them, yeah.
Yep. So pretty much the primary original cast of the first three will be coming back.
Right.
So, but I like the fact that they're relatively unknowns because that's actually what those guys were when they did Star Wars.
Yeah.
So, and it made their
And-
careers. Well, it made
Yeah, I was
Harrison
gonna say.
Ford's career.
Yeah, I was gonna say Harrison Ford's the one that really took off after that.
Peter Mayhew, Kenny Baker, and Anthony Daniels haven't really done anything since then. Well, Anthony Daniels has. He's been a dick.
Yeah, they probably don't need to.
Yeah. No, they could live off. They could live off royalties for Star Wars.
Yeah,
for
and
the
it's
rest
a
of their
pretty
lives.
young cast too, so I mean that should be interesting.
Yeah,
you know, as long as they're
I'm
not
very
making
intrigued.
decisions.
I love the fact that J.J. Abrams is taking the helm
Yeah.
of this because he's a huge fan, and which means
And you know what?
he's going to do it justice.
Yeah, he did well with Star Trek. So
How awesome is that? He gets Star Trek and Star Wars.
I know.
That is
That
just
lucky son of a bitch.
I know.
And you know, and that's why most of the time now he doesn't always put out good shows and stuff like that. But he did have Lost. Like the shows he's put out that have been good and movies that have been good are really good.
Well, his last show that I really liked just got canceled. Almost Human got canceled.
Did it?
Yeah,
He did that.
I
didn't know he
think
did
that was him.
Yeah, I know he did. I believe he's doing Believe, which I'm not sure.
Canceled.
Did it get canceled?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it got canceled.
Wow. They're already coming out with that stuff. I thought that wasn't going to be for a couple more weeks.
No, some of that stuff comes out pretty early, but they still have a couple more weeks to make final decisions.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, I mean, Believe, I stopped watching after like 3 or 4 episodes.
Yeah.
So. And I think you did. Or no, you never started watching.
I never started watching.
But the only reason I gave it a chance is because of J.J. Abrams. I mean, and Cloverfield was okay. You know, some of other movies and shows have been okay, but when he hits, man, he hits. Those Star Trek movies are so good, both of them.
Oh yeah, they're both fantastic.
But the last little bit of Next Level news we have here: Kevin Spacey stars in the new Call of Duty, and makes Frank Underwood seem like a pushover in this title on Entertainment Weekly. In the trailer, it looks just like him. If you haven't seen it, just look for Call of Duty. I believe it's called Advanced Warfare.
I'll post a link on the Facebook page.
Yeah, Call of Duty Advanced Warfare trailer, and you'll see. I mean, he's in the whole trailer. I'll play a little clip from it, but I mean, it looks and sounds just like him, and it seems like his character is even kind of a Frank Underwood type character, minus the the southern accent. So I'm gonna play just a brief little part of it, because I mean, the whole trailer's almost 3 minutes long. I'm not gonna play the whole thing.
Yeah.
Give me a break. People don't want freedom. They want boundaries, rules, protection from invaders and from themselves. People need a leader who can give them both the support and the constraints to keep chaos at bay. You give them that, and they'll follow.
So the trailer looks pretty cool. This will probably be the last Call of Duty game I buy.
Well, if they keep making Titanfall games, I'll probably end up stopping playing Call of Duty 2.
Yeah, well, I mean, the Call of Duty, I guess software people switch every year. They alternate.
Well, there's 3 of them now.
Oh, there's 3 now?
This new Call of Duty game with Kevin Spacey is the newest company making it.
Oh, okay.
So,
because I know, like, the people who did Modern Warfare 1, 2, 3, and now Ghosts, I never remember which ones they are. One's like Treyarch. I think the other's Activision.
Yeah.
But those games, once it hit Modern Warfare 3, I kind of got tired of them. But the Black Ops 2, and I know a lot of people like the World at War, I think it was called. The
World at War was
2
pretty good.
Yeah, a lot of people like that. Those were the other ones, which I loved. But I'll probably get this strictly because Kevin Spacey's in it.
Yeah. I'll probably end up getting it for the same exact reason. I usually get it just because
Titanfall is really good.
Titanfall is amazing.
Yeah, and I know we don't talk about video games much on this show, but when Kevin Spacey's involved,
oh yeah, we have to.
Gotta talk about it.
We have to talk about it. All right, so I think that's going to wrap it up for Next Level News, correct?
Yeah.
So, all right, we are going to take another break. When we come back, we are going to do another interview recap, as well as some other stuff. We're going to go over our Weird of the Week, as well as our huge contest announcement that we're going to be doing. But we're going to take a music break, and we will be back in just a few moments. Stick around.
Milk was a bad choice.
Hi, this is Claire Coffey from NBC's Grimm, and you're listening to Next Level Radio.
What are you telling them? Hello, I think. I could be mistaken. They're using a very primitive dialect, but I do believe they think I am some sort of god.
Well, why don't you use your divine influence and get us out of this?
I beg your pardon, General Solo, but that just wouldn't be proper.
Proper?
It's against my programming to impersonate a deity.
Why, you... My mistake. It's an old friend of mine.
Yet another Star Wars clip on this Star Wars day. May the 4th be with you all. It just sounds like I have a lisp. It really does.
And I know you're not a very religious man. We never talk about religion, but I was raised Catholic, and in church, the priest will say, I forget exactly what he says, but every time I hear May the Force be with you, I always think to say, and also
with you. I do that too, because again, I'm not a religious person anymore, but I was brought up Catholic for most of my life, and I do the same exact thing. When I hear somebody say,
May the peace of the Lord be with you, or something, you say, and also with you.
Yeah, when I hear May the Force be with you, I'm like, and also with you. Like, it's just habit. Like, I kind of want to say it.
It's like a reflex.
Yeah, exactly. So moving on with the show, in this break, we're going to recap our other interview that we did this week with Kevin Bigley from USA Network Sirens, which was another awesome interview that we did. We're going to have our Weird of the Week, and we are going to announce our summer contest and all the details that come along with it. But
big summer blowout.
Yeah, big. No, it's not a blowout. I guess it kind of is.
You know what that's from?
No.
You know what I'm referencing? You don't know what I'm referencing? Come on, I know you've seen the movie.
I don't know.
Big summer blowout.
I don't
Frozen?
know. Oh, that's all right. Sven.
You're the only one crazy enough to be out in this storm. You and this fellow.
Yoo-hoo. That's right.
Big summer blowout.
In the winter section. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
So
that's one of my favorite scenes in that movie.
Yeah, but you had another. Moving on with the show, you had another interesting article.
I sure did, Ben.
God.
Stanford study. You know those people out in Stanford always doing their studying.
Yeah.
They found that walking improves creativity.
I agree with this 110%.
Yeah, they examined creativity levels of people while they walked versus while they sat. A person's creative output increased by an average of 60% when walking.
Again, I agree with this, and I'll tell you why. I'll give you an example from my life as to why. I'm a writer by hobby, on the other hand, and I have, outside of this and my day job, I have a number of screenplays started, one or two that were finished and submitted, and a number that I'm working on. But I had come up with the idea for one idea for a story. And I decided to literally break out a camera, my backpack, throw on some hiking gear, and I went out to one of the state parks that are in our area. And I spent probably a good 8 hours just hiking through the park, which I really need to do again now that the weather's getting nicer. And the whole premise of it was I had my iPod, I had nothing but like movie scores, instrumental music to listen to, just to give me ideas and keep my imagination going. Between that, soundtracks, yeah. And between that, between the soundtracks in my ear and walking through the woods, because
Did you hear what I actually said?
No, what did you say?
I said porn soundtracks, and then you're just like, yeah, sound.
Oh, I didn't hear you say the porn part. Sorry,
sure you did.
I really didn't.
That's what you listen to?
Yeah, that's exactly what I listen to.
That'll get the creative juices flowing.
It gets some kind of juices flowing.
Jeez.
But anyway, like, I went out there with nothing but my iPod and, you know, my backpack and water and pretty much just hiking gear. And because the idea for the story I had written that I had thought of takes place in the woods. So I figured what better place to be than in the woods to help write it. And when I was sitting at home thinking about the screenplay, I came up with the idea for some things that were going to happen in the first one. But from the day out hiking with everything, I came home with not only the full movie idea written in my head, but ideas for exactly. No, seriously, it was. I came up with ideas for a second, third, and potentially a fourth series to that story.
You came up with an entire Saw series.
I did. And I knew how each one was going to start and how each one was going to end. And it was literally just from being out in the woods, walking and hiking.
Yeah, I mean, they even in this article it references Steve Jobs, the late co-founder of Apple, was known for his walking meetings. Facebook's Mark Zuckerberg also had walking meetings. So, I mean, obviously, you know, I will say, do you think it's... Because I don't think it's just if you go on a walk by yourself, too, because it seems like, you know, with these meetings and stuff, you just think better than when you're sitting.
No,
I think it keeps you alert and awake. I mean, when you're sitting there, if you're sitting in a meeting, you're half paying attention, half figuring out how not to fall asleep.
Yeah.
When you're out walking, especially outside in the nice air, it really just, you feel better.
We should find a way to do like a 5K walk, but broadcast the show while we're doing it.
While we're walking?
While we're walking. Because I wonder how much, what that would do to the show. What was that?
5K walk would take a while. Maybe like a 1 mile walk.
Well, yeah, it's not going to, yeah, that's true. Walking is going to take a lot longer.
Yeah.
But I wonder what it would do to the show if we were walking the whole time.
It would probably sound a hell of a lot better than it does now.
Not only that, but
remember what the hell the clips I used were from.
Not only that, but we'll get like halfway through the show, you'll be talking and I'll be silent, and you'll just be like, you'll hear me in the background going, just give me a minute, I'll be ready in a minute.
I need an inhaler. Somebody get me an inhaler. I have one.
Oh, I don't. I've never. I should have one,
but I do know, and I know you know too, people who do radio and stand while they do it.
Oh yeah. A radio show that I used to work for. One of the main guys does that.
Yeah, and you know what? Though I don't often like think to myself, you know, I need to brainstorm. I'm going to go for a walk. I personally do most of my good idea thinking in the bathroom. Not necessarily on the toilet, just in the general room.
I agree with you on that one too. I will. It's another creative source that I use. I will, because my bathroom in my apartment has no window, so if you close the door and turn off the light, it's pretty much pitch black.
Do you play Bloody Mary?
No, I don't play Bloody Mary. But I will go again with my iPod playing soundtracks, not porn. I'll put my iPod in I will put my iPod in its iPod dock in the bathroom. I will get in the shower, play a soundtrack, and turn the light out, where I have nothing but the water and the music. Like, there's no light to distract me. There's nothing. I will take a shower in pitch black darkness with nothing but the music on. And it helps. It seriously helps my thinking.
Yeah, and I don't know what it is. I mean, I'll go in there and just pee, and I'll have if I was trying to think of something hits me.
Yeah, hopefully not splatter.
Like yeah, not splashback. Yeah, but yeah, the shower too. But yeah, I mean the walking thing, I'll have to keep that in mind, because I don't often think to myself that I need to brainstorm for something. But I know you and I have talked about a few different ideas for the show, so it might actually be a good idea maybe for us to have a walking meeting sometime.
I would be down for it, because like I said, I mean, I know it definitely helps.
Well, the one idea that we had actually bounced around the other day involves walking for like an entire day.
Yeah, that's right. We'll address more details on that later once we get them worked out. But yeah, it's a great idea, and I'm definitely down for it. So
yeah, but
not so much us walking though; it's a lot of other people walking.
No, we watch other people walk, and that makes me think better.
Yeah,
because I don't have to walk
or laugh.
But yeah, and Andrea had said in the chat room she does a lot of her better thinking when she's running. I mean, just being out and doing something instead of, oddly enough, when you're just sitting there trying to think, it's easier when you're not focusing on that.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Just out and about.
No, I agree with that completely. I think it's I definitely think it's a great creative outlet, and if more people in this world did it, one, there'd be more creative stuff going on, especially like TV shows. We wouldn't have any Kardashian TV shows, and people would be a lot healthier. It's it's mixing it's two of the same thing. So it's.
Does that also work for thinking in the bathroom?
I don't know.
You're not quite as healthy, I guess.
Yeah, you're not quite as healthy. If you turn the hot water up really loud, it can turn into like a sauna.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, I mean, I usually do my thinking in the bathroom.
I don't know if we want to know what kind of thinking you do.
Not even if I'm using it. Like, I'll go in and like wash my hands. It's just the room. I don't know what it is. Again, a place where you can be alone, I guess.
I think it's just a place that you're going that you don't have distractions.
Yeah,
I think that's more of what it equates down to. Is, like I said, in the bathroom when I turn out the light, there's nothing visually in front of me, so it's only my imagination that's working.
Well, so like in this study, they did a couple different experiments. One of them had evaluated creative output by measuring people's abilities to generate complex analogies to prompt phrases. So the most creative responses were those that captured the deep structure of the prompt. For example, for the prompts "a robbed safe," a response of "a soldier suffering from PTSD" captures the sense of loss, violation, and dysfunction. So you see kind of the correlation. An empty wallet would not. So you know what I mean? Like, it's a little more creative than just basic. The result was that 100% of those who walked outside were able to generate at least one high-quality analogy compared to just 50% of those seated inside.
Yeah.
So the study speaks for itself, and if it came from Stanford, it's got to be true.
Yeah. With a name like Smuckers,
smart.
It has to be good.
They're smart there. And I found this on the internet, so it also has
So it has to be true.
Exactly.
Bonjour.
Buongiorno.
You found this other study. We have a little bit of extra time left, and you found this other study that I found rather intriguing. It's the scientific reasons diagonally cut sandwiches are better. And I'm looking at some of these images. We'll have these images up on the website later on tonight. But
it's funny because it literally is scientific.
It is, and when you had mentioned this article to me earlier before, and I thought it was maybe like one reason as to why it's scientifically better, but there are 7.
Yeah.
And I look at them, and they all make complete sense, and that's like what really cracks me up about this too.
There's another BuzzFeed one. Weeded through the crap and found a good article.
Yeah, number 1, the diagonally sliced half is optimized for dipping in a variety of soup containers. Which,
yes. If you're not eating soup in a bowl, it can be very hard to dip a square cut, or a rectangular cut, I guess it would be, sandwich.
I'm not that particularly into dipping my soup or dipping my sandwich into soup unless it's grilled cheese into tomato.
Yeah, I'm not a big soup guy in general, but I think that's what they're referring to.
Well, that's what it looks like. The images, it looks like it's tomato soup. So
yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah. Number 2, mutual support in a vertical setting maintains overall structural integrity in the hours leading up to lunch. They even use scientific wording.
Yeah, I know. So basically, in layman's terms, it won't sag because the bottom half can support the top half. Whereas if
you have your sandwich upright.
Down, yeah.
If you have your sandwich upright in a bag or anything, which I don't know who does that. Like, I have my sandwiches are always flat.
Yeah, mine too. I lay them down.
Yeah, I do too. So that's not one that really pertains to me. But I guess anybody who puts it in like a lunch pail or lunch bag that stands it upright.
Let me ask you this: which way do you usually cut your sandwiches?
I usually cut diagonal.
Do you?
Okay. Well, to be honest with you, when I make my sandwiches, I don't use bread. I usually use a Kaiser roll or a torpedo roll, or a small torpedo roll. So it's usually cut in half. So it's the same either way.
I don't use bread. I use
rolls.
I can't even think of a sarcastic answer to give you.
Breads have too many preservatives, unless
depending what kind you buy.
Depending on what kind you buy, or if you make it yourself. So I'll usually
get the no high fructose corn syrup and all that good.
Yeah. So I mean, like I went food shopping earlier today too. After I was done with my Star Wars marathon, and every time I go food shopping, I usually buy a couple fresh rolls with some lunch meat. So Amoroso rolls usually are awesome, and they're cheap. They're like, I think where I shop, I think they're like 55 cents a piece. So it's
yeah. I'm usually a vertical cut guy, but you know what? A lot of times when I'm making a sandwich, I'm eating it right away. And a lot of times if I'm making a sandwich, it's peanut butter and jelly, like a 5-year-old.
Well, nothing wrong with that. PB&J is good at any age.
That's almost always what I'll eat, because I'm not a huge sandwich guy either. Unless it's like, do you consider a burger a sandwich?
No, I consider a burger.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm not a huge sandwich guy in general.
Speaking of, it's Burger Month. I know it's kind of off
mean?
topic, but it's Burger Month. It's today. May is the month for burgers.
Does that mean Red Robin's having like a huge?
I think they are actually. I think they're doing something for May for Burger Month.
All right, cool.
I need to get the Red Robin. I haven't been to Red Robin in years.
Yeah.
Sponsor. Number 3, hypotenuse maximizes tongue.
It's my hypotenuse.
Shut up.
This length of it maximizes the tongue to sandwich filling contact area. The hypotenuse. You always have to use it. We use scientific terms. Like I said, we're always perfect, and we talk about hypotenuses.
Really? Oh my god. You sound like I don't know what you sound like, but you sound like there's some kind of accent. It sounds like the Canadian accent for South Park. Hypotenuse.
Hypotenuse.
The hypotenuse length maximizes tongue to sandwich filling content area. Which I agree with.
When you talk about peanut butter and jelly, gotta have the hypotenuse.
The hypotenuse. God, that's something else. Now you're just gonna bust my balls on forever.
I am. I wish you would have said the whole word. I could have did a sound grab of it.
What word? Hypotenuse.
Hypotenuse. Yeah. You
See,
started.
I did it, and you just interrupted me.
You said hypot. No, but I mean the original. I could make you say it. It's just not as fun.
Yeah. Number 4, longer fissure spans. Shut up.
Make sure the hypotenuse is longen.
Longer fissure spans means increased chance of creating a melted cheese bridge. I think Samuel.
I don't use cheese in my sandwiches.
No grilled cheese?
No, I'm not a grilled cheese person.
No. See, I love grilled cheese. Throw in some ham, bacon.
I can make a good grilled cheese. I just don't eat them.
Oh.
I love the next one, by the way.
I don't get this one at all. This one,
I just like it because of the
image.
The image.
Number 5, triangle structure creates an obvious grab zone. You can grab the sandwich anywhere.
Yeah, anywhere you want. But it's funny because in the one where it's a vertical cut instead of diagonal, the hand is confused. It's just like reaching
Where do I go? Where do I go?
all over the place.
It's so ridiculous. Number 6, acute corners allow for 4 perfect initial sandwich bites.
This is a little bit of a stretch.
Yeah, it is. So a couple of these are a little bit of a stretch, but some of them, make sense. Number 7, the initial is the final one. The initial corner consumption sets up 2 ultimate bites of unmatched crustless perfection. Is another one that's a little bit of a stretch.
Yeah, I mean, although like I said, I'm usually a vertical guy. I do eat off the sides, where the crust is, and then I get like a nice, good uncrusted bite, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Which is kind of what they talk about here. But, I mean, you can do that with either cut. It doesn't necessarily have to be one or the other. Either way, you get the same amount of crust. It's the same piece of bread.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not like you cut it differently, it turns into something else. Or you could, if you don't want the crust, just cut it off.
Yeah.
Did you ever have, like, your mom or anybody cut the crust off when you were a kid?
No, I never did that. I'm fine with the crust being on the bread.
Yeah, me too. I'm okay with it.
Occasionally, I think I peeled them off. I peeled the crust off when I was younger, but my mother never cut it off for me.
Yeah. It's a waste of bread.
But even when I peeled the crust off, I still ate it. So it was never anything.
Never wasted.
Yeah, I never wasted it.
Yeah.
So, it is what it is. But that's it. Yeah, that's the 7 reasons why it's more scientific to cut a sandwich in diagonal.
I just love how they use the actual science and science terms, like hypotenuse.
Hypotenuse. I think some of them were a stretch.
Yeah, a little bit. I agree.
But what do you say we move things on? We have another interview to recap.
Yes, Kevin Bigley.
We have our Kevin Bigley
Sirens.
interview from Sirens on the USA Network. Now, you kept saying, like, USA. I kept saying USA Networks. It doesn't really matter.
No.
I think.
I do think, though, like, I know their website's USA Network because I'm sure USA.com is taken.
I'm sure.
By America.
No, that would be USA.gov.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I'm sure it's just some dick that took USA.
Yeah, but, I mean, either way's fine.
Yeah.
But the finale was on Thursday night, literally like a few hours after we talked to him.
Which was cool to talk to him on the night of the finale, too. So,
yeah.
But, I mean, he had mentioned in the interview that they had wrapped up shooting the entire season before it had even started airing. So, I mean, they were pretty much getting to watch it every night. I know they were live tweeting every episode, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's very cool. That not a lot of shows do that. A lot of them, production runs right up until like a few weeks before the finale.
Well, I know Paul Blackthorne from Arrow live tweets a lot during the Arrow episodes.
East Coast or West Coast?
That I'm not sure about.
Yeah, I know a lot of times the East Coast gets screwed because they don't want to spoil anything for the West Coast people.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that I'm not sure of. But I know, I think Steve Amell from Arrow does it occasionally, too.
Yeah, I think he's a big West Coaster, if I remember correctly. Because I saw people complaining that the East Coast never gets it. But the Sirens guys are cool enough. They do both.
Yeah, he would live tweet for both East Coast and West Coast airings of Sirens.
Yeah, very cool.
But you're right, it does kind of... Well, I guess with a comedy like that, it's not really anything spoiler-wise that you have to worry about.
No.
Arrow...
you know what? S.H.I.E.L.D., they do live tweet East Coast.
Do they?
Sometimes. Yeah, I have seen them live tweet on the East Coast.
So I guess that's just one of those things that you just have to pay attention and stay off Twitter.
Yeah, they'll do both, which I think is how it should be done. Like, just say if West Coast don't read my tweets for a while.
Yeah, exactly. Just stay off Twitter. It's, it's that simple.
Yeah, it's not that hard to stay off Twitter. You can find something else to do.
No, not at all.
No. But this clip is actually, if you want me to play it real quick,
go for
talking about, because you had asked him, what if he had any plans for the finale. So he goes into, what he's doing for the finale and also a little bit about the finale.
We always go to Mosley's for the most part. I think I've had a couple things like they come over to my house and stuff, but we go over to Mosley's pretty much all the time. He cooks, and I think he's making pulled pork sandwiches tonight, so I'm not going to miss that. He's a damn good cook, so I'm going to go get that. And we tweet for the live finale, of course, and for both coasts. So we'll be all over there talking and watching the thing, and we've seen it a couple times. It's a really good episode. I'm really stoked about it. It's really, really funny. I love when they use chaos in our episodes. In this one, Teresa and Johnny are possibly going to get married, and everybody just kind of freaks out. Yeah, and just starts demanding their own things from the wedding. So we all talk over each other the whole episode. It's really, really. And Josh Segarra, who plays like the stupid Officer Billy, there's a lot of him in this, and he was like. People asked if we busted up on set and stuff. It was all because of Segarra. So he's back a lot, and he's heavily featured in this episode, and he absolutely kills it. He's really, really
he's a
funny.
good character.
He's so good. He's so good. He will you're talking about improv. That dude comes up with so many lines that he'll just sit there and just bang, 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 like line around kind of stuff. It's like, geez, how did you even think of some of this stuff? He has no fear, absolutely no fear.
I'm hoping when they release the DVD of it, because a lot of movies will do that, like a Line-O-Rama bonus feature. That would be really cool to see, because those are some of my favorite bonus features when they do like a Line-O-Rama with improv.
Oh yeah, me too. I mean, especially I know the Anchorman movies do it. My 40-Year-Old Virgin.
Anchorman 2 made a whole other movie with Line-O-Rama.
Oh, I know. I love it.
I love it. I love when comedies can pull off improv, man. And I haven't been able to watch every episode in sequence of Sirens, but I've seen a good chunk of them, including the finale. And they, he had mentioned in the interview, you can listen to the whole thing at nextlevelradioonline.com or on iTunes now, but he had mentioned, when they do some improv, and they pull it off, for sure.
Yeah, I need to get caught up with the show. I haven't had a chance to watch as much of it as I'd like to, but I love USA Network shows. We had mentioned that during the interview, too. They have a great track record when it comes to their shows. I love Suits. I loved Psych when Psych was on. But yeah, so I definitely do want to check it out. I just need to take the time to get caught up with the show.
Was Psych a comedy, mostly?
Yes. Yeah, Psych was a comedy.
Okay, I never got a chance to watch it.
I loved it. Psych was out before The Mentalist, and The Mentalist was pretty much more just a dramatic version of Psych.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is that also on USA? The Mentalist?
No, The Mentalist was
CBS, right?
CBS. Yeah.
Okay.
So, but I mean,
yeah, he was awesome to talk to, and it's not a, I'm not gonna say it's a bummer, but literally the entire interview we were talking about the show but it wasn't like boring stuff about the show. Like it was.
Oh, it was great.
You know what I mean? It was like in-depth, good stuff. He was talking about Dennis Leary and different like stories and stuff like that. It was so cool, and we didn't really get a chance to talk too much about like what he does outside of the show. We had a question that, like we said, we had to kind of cut because we were short on time. So, and he even said afterwards like he'd love to come on again. So we're definitely going to have to look on to having him on.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, well, he even he gave us the open invitation. To have him on. He said even if it doesn't get picked up for a season 2, like which we hope it does. I mean, he said
I think it will.
Even if it doesn't get picked up for a season 2, we're more than welcome to talk to him again. As he put it, he has free time.
Yeah, you had mentioned, USA having the good track record. So that coupled with it being a Dennis Leary, him being an executive producer on the show, and it being as funny as it is. It only got 10 episodes for the season. I think they're gonna renew it. I could easily see them renewing it.
Yeah, I think it's gonna get renewed. I loved the fact you have to listen to the interview to hear the whole story, but I loved the story of the filming in the fire truck with Dennis Leary on the floor.
Yeah,
that was such a great story. I'm not going to reveal any details about it other than that, but it was very funny. Do yourself a favor and check out our interview with him. If you need confirmation as to how well that interview went, go to our Twitter feed because you will see other people from the show tweeting about that interview.
Yeah, favoriting
favoriting the tweets about the interview, retweeting it. Other stars of the show are getting people to listen to that interview.
Yeah,
that's how well that interview went. So I mean, if you need any more confirmation than that,
yeah, I know. I also know one of the fan pages had retweeted it.
Yeah,
and started following us, so that's cool. But yeah, I mean, also he had said, again, I don't want to give away too much of the interview, but he had mentioned that he before this didn't get to do too much as far as like a character like Brian on the show. Like he was not an extra, but you know what I mean, like a minor, non-recurring role.
Yeah, well, I think like his Twitter feed, his handle is Brian on Sirens and also Guy in Bank.
In the Dilemma, yeah.
In the Dilemma, yeah, which is pretty funny.
But he is great at the comedy, so I think he has a good future in it, and I think the show has a good future as well. Yeah, I could see getting at least 3 seasons.
I haven't seen a USA show that's gotten picked up that has run for only 1 season, that hasn't gotten renewed. White Collar, Psych, Burn Notice, Suits, Royal Pains, they've all run. They've all had a run. So I can see Suits being the same way. So we wish him the best. And what's that?
You mean Sirens? You said you could see Suits being the same way.
Oh, I could see Sirens. Yeah, being the same way.
We knew what you meant.
Okay. So
at least I did.
All right. What do you say we hit the Weird of the Week and then we make our contest announcement?
Our big announcement. Sure.
Yeah.
Next Level Showcast presents the Weird of the Week.
And the Weird of the Week is brought to you by
carrots.
Carrots, yes. They're good for your eyesight. Make sure you eat them.
And the dark side.
And
check it out.
Side. The Dark Revenge of the Fifth tomorrow. First story I have for you: 2 drivers crash into each other. Here's the important part about this story. One of them was high and the other one was drunk.
Oh, that's convenient.
Thursday evening, a 38-year-old Malcolm Sidbury of Albany, New York, called 911 after another driver, 57-year-old Thomas Robbins of Poughkeepsie, New York?
Poughkeepsie.
Is that how it's pronounced? Poughkeepsie? Sideswiped his car on one of the parkways. Mr. Sidbury and Mr. Robbins did not stop driving after they crashed into each other, however. When troopers finally caught up with both of them, they stopped both drivers, round up arresting both. Arresting. Now I'm turning...
Arresting.
They sound like Daffy Duck.
Arresting the hypotenuse.
Yeah. Because Thomas Robbins, who was the 57-year-old, was under the influence of alcohol, and Malcolm Sidbury, the 38-year-old, was under the influence of drugs, which is just ridiculous. The gentleman, Mr. Robbins, had a blood alcohol content of 2.25%. So I know in PA it's 0.08, so that's 3 times the legal limit. And Mr. Sidbury said trooper said he was high on drugs. He was charged with driving while ability impaired by drugs. They were both released later on with tickets to appear in court. Second story I have: homeowner has to pay damages from neighbor's exploding corpse.
I heard about this. It's creepy.
Why? I don't know. It was an explosion, but not the kind of explosion covered by homeowner's insurance. That was the conclusion reached by Palm Beach County, Florida court last week after 6 years of litigation. Back in 2008, an elderly woman's undiscovered body had decomposed so badly in her apartment it exploded. Fluid from the ruptured corpse began to seep through the floor and into the apartment below, which led the owner of that unit to sue her insurance company, claiming it needed to pay for damages. But unfortunately, State Farm successfully argued that the type of explosion didn't fall under the plaintiff's policy. So that sucks.
Well, that's a way to put it.
Completely
well,
sucks.
That sucks.
That would, like, how pissed would you be? Do you have an apartment above you?
I do.
So how pissed would you be if shit just started leaking through and it wasn't covered by your insurance?
You're under the assumption that it hasn't already.
That's true.
No, it's never has. I'd be rather bummed about that.
Yeah, like a good neighbor, State Farm explodes.
But the thing with that is too is in my situation, it would be under the landlord, not myself, to handle.
And boom goes the dynamite.
As for how the body could have gone undiscovered for weeks, in 2009, Rodrigo's neighbor Nicholas Colangelo told Courthouse News that the woman lived alone and had no family, so that's why it was allowed to go that long, so that it exploded. Last one, a prisoner, and this is relatively local. It was actually pulled out of a local newspaper up here in Allentown. Prisoner is suing for conjugal visits with his wives. Yes, plural, wives.
Mormon?
Something like that.
Oh.
Gregory Thomas is in prison right now. He has multiple wives. The former Philadelphia man and convicted murderer claims his wives are threatening to divorce him under Islamic law because a state prison policy won't allow them to have sex with him behind bars. So it's because of his religion. So he's not Mormon. I guess he's Islamic. There must be some kind of thing in there that I'm not aware of. So apparently that infringes on his right to practice his religion, he claims, in a lawsuit challenging the state's policy against conjugal visits for inmates.
Well, I guess if you're not getting any, it's going to make it,
Doesn't hurt to try.
No, not at all.
I don't know why they don't want to divorce him just for being in prison.
Yeah.
Or having multiple wives.
I guess Islam's just a crazy, crazy thing. I don't know. I'm not religious, so I don't really look into any of it.
And also with you.
Ask me about my winner!
What does that have to do with it?
Oh, that was the back to the prison thing.
Oh. I'm kind of bummed because you didn't get into the whole sound clip I said you needed to play. You played half of it.
Oh, you mean when Mel Gibson got in an argument with Mace Windu?
Yeah, with Mace Windu.
Say what again? Did someone call 911? Holy shit.
That's also Mace Windu.
Yeah.
Those are the director's cut of the movie.
Oh, so that's why we never saw that.
Yeah.
So, all right.
That does it for Weird of the Week.
Yeah, well, we're reaching the end of the show, but as promised, we have a huge contest announcement that we are going to do. This is bigger than anything we've done before, and we want to give you all the details to it now. But it's going to involve a little bit of work in order to get a winner.
It's so big your neighbor's body will explode.
We don't want that to happen. I don't think it was that kind of an explosion either. I think it was just kind of like a gaseous, like it just burst, not exploded. No, but from what I understand, that's because I heard that story before, so I kind of think.
So it sounded like this.
Yeah, actually, that's probably more along the lines.
Or maybe it was a combo. It was like a.
You were just having too much fun with that soundboard.
I should have never got this thing.
No, that's all right. Just wait till I'm able to get my soundboard through here.
Yeah.
It's gonna
anyway,
be ridiculous.
The contest. That's so big your neighbor's body will explode.
That's right. Your neighbor's body will explode, and carrots will help your eyesight, and all that other fun stuff. But we are. This is bigger than anything we've done before, but as I said, it's going to take a little bit of work on your part as the listeners, because a goal has to be reached before anybody can win this contest. But you have plenty of time. We're going to run it all the way up until August 31st, which happens to be a Sunday that we will be doing a showcast. So between now and Sunday, August 31st, you have multiple ways that you can enter this contest. First off, more importantly, in order for this contest to go active, you have to spread the word on Facebook about Next Level Radio. You have to share our page. You have to share our Twitter. In order for this contest to go active, you have to help us reach 750 likes on our Facebook page. If that happens between now and August 31st, there will be a winner. If not, well, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But share our page.
All are losers.
Oh, yeah. I wasn't.
Her.
Share our page on Facebook. Get your friends to share our page on Facebook. Share the page as much as you can. Get people to like it. If you get people to like it, you are entered into the contest just for liking the page. And your friends who you get to like it are entered into the contest just for liking the page. That's one way. That's one way to get into this contest. Another way to get into this contest, like I said, there are multiple ways you can. I believe there's up to 5 different ways that you can become entered into this contest. Well, not that you can become entered into this contest, but you can have additional entries into this contest. Right. If you like us on Facebook, if you are a fan of us on Facebook, you get 1 entry into the contest. If you follow us on Twitter, that's another entry into the contest. So follow us on Mixlr, our broadcast page. That is another entry into the contest. Subscribe to us on YouTube. That is another entry into the contest. We will come up with other ways to get other entries, maybe like a word of the show or a phrase of the show, that if you listen to the show and tell us the phrase, you will get another entry into the contest. Subscribe to us on YouTube and send us a screen capture that you have done it. We will give you another entry into the contest. There are multiple ways to get into it. The more you share our show, the more you favorite our show, the more you support our show, the more chances you have to win. Now, you're probably wondering, what the hell is it that I can win? This is a cinephile's dream. I love this prize. I'm glad that we came up with this. You will win a prize pack that is worth upwards to about $350 to $400. It includes a Blu-ray player, not a crappy Blu-ray player either, a high-quality Blu-ray player with Wi-Fi and all that fun stuff. And your choice, we will give you a list of about 25 to 30 Blu-rays to go with that. You will get your choice of 10 of them. So whatever 10 Blu-rays you want off of that list, plus the Blu-ray player, that is what you will win. So if you don't have a Blu-ray player yet, and you've always wanted one, this is your way to get into that contest.
Or even if you have one and you have multiple TVs.
And you want another one. Or you want to give a Blu-ray player as a gift and keep the movies for yourself. Doesn't matter what you want to do with the prize. It's
free.
You will win it for free. If you're not in the area of Next Level, where we broadcast outside of Philadelphia, doesn't matter. We will mail it to you. It will be included in the price of your contest. We will send it out to you. It's that simple.
Yep.
So,
just to give you kind of where we're at now, we're at 191 likes on Facebook.
So we got about, I'm not good at math.
647.
Yeah.
No, that's wrong.
Again, I was not good at math.
We have a few.
Yeah. I think it's about 600. No,
like
it's less. It's like 550. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, so we got a ways to go, but you have all summer to do it. If we announce any other ways to earn entries into this contest, we will let you know on the show, as well as post on the Facebook page and their Twitter accounts. So again, subscribe to us on Twitter, follow us on Twitter, subscribe to Mixler, subscribe to YouTube, like our Facebook page. For everything that you do, for every additional thing that you do, you get another shot. So the more you support us, the better your chances become of doing this.
Listen live every week.
Yeah, listen live every week. Because, like I said, you never know when we're going to do like a phrase of the show that will get you an additional chance. So you never know. By the time that week comes up, it's about like 9 weeks away, I think. You might have upwards to like 12 entries into this contest if you follow us and you do everything that you're supposed to. But again, it's about a $350, $400 value. It includes a Blu-ray player, top of the line Blu-ray player, and 10 movies out of a list of like 25 to 30. And we're not talking like bargain bin Blu-rays either. We're talking like Oscar-nominated movies, Oscar-winning movies.
Ones that haven't even come out yet.
Yeah, because they'll be on that list because they'll be out by the time that contest is up. Movies that... like Andrea's comment in the chat room.
I didn't see it.
If Adam and I get divorced, will I be eligible to win? Yeah, but that shouldn't happen. So...
Yeah.
But I mean, we're talking like the Marvel Avengers movies, and because I'm sure Captain America: Winter Soldier will be out by that time, so I'm sure that will be on the list.
Avengers,
yeah, I know.
But not just those type of movies, like you said, we're like 12 Years a Slave.
Yeah, it'll be like, and if you have recommendations for movies you'd like to see on the list, please send them to us because we're still making up the list, but the list should be posted hopefully in the next couple weeks.
Titanic.
No,
it could be on the list. Did that win an Oscar?
It did. Yeah, won the Academy Award. Who knows? The list might be like 50 Blu-rays long by the time we're done.
Yeah, we might end up have more than 30 to choose from.
But you'll get like 10. You'll get to choose like 10 off that list.
Choose any 10, yeah.
Plus the Blu-ray player. It's a pretty cool prize. I'll tell you right now. If I didn't have like 3 Blu-ray players and a shit ton of Blu-rays, I probably would have entered it.
If you were eligible.
If I was eligible, yeah.
But yeah, you have to first and foremost get those likes up.
Yeah, that's the only way that a winner will be chosen is we have to reach 750 likes between now and August 31st.
Yeah.
So, but that's it. That's our summer contest. I know I'm excited about it. Because one, it helps you guys get a great prize. A great prize. And it helps us out because you're showing your support for the show. So,
and by the way, when you go to our Facebook and like it, you'll see this lovely picture my wife just posted on the page. She posted a photo of one of the stormtroopers looking sad. It says regrets, and underneath that it goes, "Those were the droids you were looking for."
I saw that. Yeah,
fantastic.
But that's going to wrap it up for the show for tonight.
To think, before I married her, she hadn't seen Star Wars.
What?
And now she loves it. So I know I chose right.
Wow. Yeah. You chose wisely.
I chose wisely.
You chose poorly.
No, that would be my track record.
Maybe
some of the past exes that I have been with. I love Andrea. Andrea is great. So.
But yeah, make sure you listen to us live every Sunday night, 6 p.m. Eastern time, and of course, we always love when people listen live because they can join in the chat room, and we've had a few shows where we've got a decent number of people in that chat room that were talking and interacting, which is always fun. And we understand though some people are busy, so if you're busy, definitely make sure you podcast us now that we're on iTunes. And if you don't like to download it and you want to just stream it somewhere, YouTube is always available.
Yeah. But that's going to wrap it up for tonight. We want to thank everybody, obviously, for joining in with the show and listening. If you're listening to us on podcast, we appreciate the download. Again, we encourage you to like us everywhere you can, support us everywhere you can, because it can definitely work out in your advantage with the prize later on. Next week, we'll have a couple more interviews to recap, as well as some more topics I'm sure that we will talk about. But I think that's it, Adam, unless you have anything else that we're...
Well, I mean, we are supposed to speak with, this is pretty much all but confirmed, on Tuesday night, most likely, a little later, because she's in Hong Kong right now. Selena Jade from the TV show Arrow, which Ben and I are both big fans of, and we had talked to James Bamford, the stunt and fight coordinator for the show. We're tentatively going to be speaking with her at 9 p.m. 9 p.m. Eastern time.
Oh, yeah, I know we were talking about, we were trying to get Bamford back on, too, because...
yeah, he's away for like a month and a half.
Yeah. All this mainly because the big season finale, which is actually building up to be pretty huge, of Arrow, is coming up in about 2 weeks, so we're trying to... I know we're talking the one that you had just mentioned. There's a possibility of another Arrow cast member sometime in between now and the finale. That we're still working on. And like I said, we were trying to get Bamford on too, but that didn't work out because he's away. So.
But yeah, I think we'll be able to, we'll probably have him on closer to season 3 premiere then.
Yeah. Oh, and last but not least too, one other thing I forgot to mention. All Request Radio Rock, my Thursday night All Request show, is going to be starting up in about 2 weeks, every Thursday night. So that's another opportunity for you to listen in, hear some great music. And then your show is going to be starting up.
Yes, fantasy. It's going to be fantasy football. Me and a few friends of mine. That'll be starting in... It's going to be weekly in July, but we're probably in the beginning or mid-June we're going to do like a kind of feeler episode because it'll be after the draft, so we'll be able to do some stuff with that.
Yeah.
There won't be enough to talk about in June to do it every week, but definitely once July hits and fantasy drafts are getting closer, all you fantasy football players out there, definitely something you'll want to listen to.
Yeah. So, I mean, we got some other content coming up to Next Level Radio. It's not just going to be the showcast every Sunday night. There's going to be stuff eventually every night of the week.
Yeah, and Ben and I might eventually do the Flash series coming out.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. That's not going to be till September.
The fall, yeah.
When the new shows start up. But,
ways away.
So we'll see what night of the week the Flash ends up on and, maybe do something, afterwards.
Yeah.
So, but that's going to wrap it up. Thanks again, everybody, for listening, and we will see you next week, guys. Take care.
Later.
Yes, Jedi strength flows from the Force. But beware of the dark side. Anger, fear, aggression. The dark side of the Force are they. Easily they flow, quick to join you in a fight. If once you start down the dark path, forever will it dominate your destiny. Consume you it will, as it did Obi-Wan's apprentice.